COVID-19 has impacted just about everything in our lives. And tonight there are concerns that the impact could have reached the toys so many of your kids got as gifts this year. Fox 4's Rochelle Aline spoke to a lawyer and the Safety Commission. Rochelle?
This year put the commission into a bit of a catch-22 situation. How were they supposed to keep their inspector safe while also keeping consumers safe? The solution they came up with is now getting some backlash from both lawyers and parents. Tonight, I spoke to a man who is both, and he shared some tips on how to make sure your child's toys are safe. Toy safety has come a long way.
We've seen a huge change from it was sort of the Wild Wild West.
Attorney Kevin Hazlett says it's thanks to government regulations and agencies that have stepped in.
If you're a parent, there's never been a safer time to give a toy to their children than in 2020.
And though we've come so far, like so many things in 2020, even toy safety inspections were impacted by the pandemic. We've learned that due to COVID-19, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission had to change up its workflow, meaning inspectors were checking toys remotely and even from home for some time.
When you start shortcutting it, or you say, well, we're going to expect it from home, or normally we'd have 100 people looking at toys, this year we can only get 50. That does add a layer of uncertainty with the safety of the toys.
The concern now is that while inspectors were working remotely to stay safe, faulty toys could have slipped through the cracks. But before you panic, Hazlett says you should do this instead.
So if there's a message out there, I think parents need to be more vigilant.
His biggest piece of advice is to check the suggested age range for toys, as lawyers for personal injury cases often see these injuries.
Choking hazards are one. The other one we see are facial injuries.
And if your child does get hurt, Hazlett says it doesn't necessarily mean a lawsuit.
Just because you had a near-death experience, almost choked, almost put their eye out, doesn't necessarily mean that a lawyer gets involved. We're looking usually for injuries or serious injuries that altered the life of that child.
And the U.S. CPSC has sent us a full list of tips on how to make sure your child's toys are safe and who to contact if they're not. You can find that information on our website at fox4now.com. In Cape Coral, Rochelle Aline, Fox 4.
Thanks, Rochelle. And that Safety Commission also sent Fox 4 a statement in part that says protecting the American public from dangerous consumer products, as well as protecting the health and safety of agency staff, are of paramount importance to the CPSC during this unprecedented pandemic. Once scarce PPE equipment was finally secured, the agency moved to place inspectors back in the ports. They are now closer to being back in full force. And that full statement can be found on fox4now.com.